What? Well, today's a bit of a mixed bag, huh? Welcome back to A Few Bits of News. I'm TB Sliver, and today we're going over a few bits of news from the gaming industry and adjacent areas over the past week. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit like and get subscribed below. It does really help the channel. It means you won't miss anything new in the future. Now, let's get to the news. What should be a time of excitement and hype for the Final Fantasy XIV players turned to a more somber note as last week it was announced that TV and stage actor Stephen Critchlow had died at the age of 54. To the Final Fantasy XIV community, he was the English voice actor for Count Edmond de Fortemps and main narrator to the game's first main expansion, Heavensward. Like with many of the characters in the game, players spent a rather long time interacting with Stephen's character, and to many, he and Edmond are basically the same. Players stood outside House Fortemps in vigil across the game's servers. Social media was flooded with sympathies to the actor's family and artwork to the character, and someone even gave a eulogy to the actor in-game. Link to that is in the description. Sadly for the community, this isn't the first time they had experienced an English voice actor death, as in the previous year, voice actor to the character Honoroit, Archie Lyndhurst, son of Nicholas Lyndhurst, passed away at the age of 19, and the original voice of Yugiri, Cian Blake, died in 2015. For the wider community, a vigil was held this year for the late Kentaro Miura, the creator of the popular manga Berserk, whose design inspired many iconic video games' own designs. For Final Fantasy, that was the Dark Knight class in the series. Before his death, Stephen had a stroke at the start of the year and started a fundraising page via justgiving.com to support and thank the UK's National Health Service for his time in their care. In light of his death, that fundraiser has continued on, with the Final Fantasy community also donating into the fund in his memory. We will leave a link to the fundraiser in the description. So, last Thursday night at 11 PM BST, Nintendo did a direct. Sorta kinda only giving people 24 hours notice the previous day. Krem was not pleased with having to stay up that late, but was pleased with the outcome. It was one of the better Nintendo Directs they've done in a while. To start with, they opened with a small trailer, it was 30 seconds, to announce the Monster Hunter Rise expansion Sunbreak, set for summer 2022. No details were really given during the Direct itself, as Capcom did most of the talking via Twitter. The company announced that more details will be covered during Tokyo Game Show on the 30th, and sorta slyly announced Sunbreak will launch on Switch and PC at the same time, no less. Considering we've yet to actually see a PC release date for Rise, expect that to be happening quite soon. Mario Party Superstars was next, detailing its offline and online gameplay, as well as its mini-game modes for single and co-op play. It's still due October 29th. Voice of Cards The Isle Dragon Roars followed suit, an RPG played and made out of a deck of cards. This is Yoko Taro's next offering, who did state on Twitter that this had nothing to do with Drakengard, but will include Nier DLC, so Theorycraft away, fans. This is due October 28th on Switch, Steam and PlayStation. Following that was Disco Elysium The Final Cut, due October 12th, showing off its redesigned UI for the more portable Switch. There's some quality of life features like font scaling in this version too. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity showed off bits of its second DLC pack. This one seems to be more story driven than the first, and includes Pura and Robbie as playable characters. This is due out October 29th, but you have to own the full DLC pass priced at $17.99 to get both this and the first DLC pack. Next, we took a left turn into Final Fantasy, as 1999's Chocobo Racing is getting a sequel in Chocobo GP. It's due 2022. Those wanting their last bits of Smash Bros. Ultimate were a tad disappointed to find out the Direct didn't cover this, which will be covered in its own presentation on October 5th at 3 PM BST. Same with that of Animal Crossing New Horizons, which will also get its own presentation in October as well, although there will be a free update in November. Backtracking in the video slightly, between those two announcements was the reveal, or confirmation, as Nintendo leaked this on the eShop hours before, of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which sees Kirby in a 3D adventure poking around abandoned structures from a past civilization, which are basically high-rise buildings. The game is expected spring 2022. Aspyr's port of Knights of the Old Republic is coming to Switch November 11th, but don't panic, it's not the remake, it's the original port they did for other platforms. Also, Techland's Dying Light 2 Stay Human is coming to Switch, as a cloud version only, on February 4th. This isn't the first time a game has been streamable only for the Switch, let's wait and see if this holds up, but there will be a demo the same day to try. Next on the list was Square Enix's tactical RPG Triangle Strategy. The Direct stated based on feedback from the demo a lot of quality of life changes have been made. These include adjustments to the difficulty, improvements to on-screen visuals, camera angle controls, the ability to review previous dialogue, and streamlined game flow and loading times. The full release is due March 4th, 2022. Metroid Dread had a small showcase. Sorry, I can't tell you much about what it was in it. All I have written here is la la la, Creme not listening, la la la, but I can say the game is due October 8th. Next comes the interesting bit. The Direct announced a new feature coming to the online service, that of including N64 and Genesis and Mega Drive titles on the Switch, which also will have the Bluetooth-compatible Mega Drive and N64 controllers. Oh yeah, we've not mentioned Switch got Bluetooth support recently, did we? I don't know, I just read the script. Go bother Creme on that. Don't get too excited though, as this will be a bolt-on package to the existing subscription, offering Super Mario 64, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, Lilac Wars, Sin and Punishment, Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis 64, Operation Winback, and Yoshi's Story at launch, with Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X at a later date. Creme also notes the Genesis Mega Drive titles are Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hard Cops, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Phantasy Star 4, Rise Star, Shining Force, Shinobi 3 Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider. A price for this extra service, or expansion pack as Nintendo put it, has yet to be given, but it is due out by the end of October. However, Creme also notes to wait and see with this, as Nintendo haven't been really on the ball updating the NES and SNES library, and most of the Genesis Mega Drive games can be found elsewhere. Based on price, this may be a miss. Back to games though, the next announcement was the Castlevania Advance Collection. This pack includes Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, and Dracula X on all major platforms. A SNES classic revealed itself again as action platformer / city sim ActRaiser got a remaster under ActRaiser Renaissance on Switch, Steam, PlayStation 4 and mobile. Finally, Deltarune Chapter 2 got revealed for the Switch. We covered the casual drop of this release on the other platforms last week. Best thing is these 3 games are out now, as they were released just after the Direct. Nintendo then went into quickfire mode with the release dates of Micro Car Racer Hot Wheels Unleashed on September 30th, Survival City Builder Surviving the Aftermath releasing Winter 2021, JRPG Shin Megami Tensei 5 still with its date of 12th of November, and Racer Wreckfest is due this autumn. Arcade Archives Pac-Man and Xevious got released that night, and finally Rune Factory 5 has a March 25th date. The Direct took a turn when Shigeru Miyamoto literally stepped in to talk about the Super Mario animated movie, more so about its release date, that of holiday 2022 in the US, with other worldwide dates to be announced at a later date. The information kept flowing as he spoke of the voice cast, which is not who you expected. Taking up Mario's role will be Marvel star Chris Pratt. Queen's Gambit star Anya Taylor-Joy will voice Princess Peach, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia's Charlie Day as Luigi. Other members include Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Kay will play Toad, Seth Rogen will voice Donkey Kong, Kamek will be voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, Cranky Kong by Fred Armisen, and finally Spike by Sebastian Maniscalco. Those screaming, "Where's Charles Martinet?" the iconic voice of Mario in the games? Well, he does appear in surprise cameos. Let's just say the movie's cast was the talking point for most of the weekend. The Direct then returned to its final announcements. First off, Splatoon 3. The trailer was a bombastic show of images, chaos and ink. We got a small look at what looks like a few new weapons, one being a robotic crab, and a tease for the single-player campaign, Return of the Mammalians, which seems to be focused on the game's furrier members of the planet. Finally, and fashionably late, we got a small look at Bayonetta 3's combat, including some rather large fights between her demons and what looked to be kaiju. Both games are due at some point in 2022. That was a lot of information to digest. If you want to watch the actual direct, click the link in the description down below. Let's shift from one dense topic to a thicker one, this one quickly becoming a new staple at this point: Activision Blizzard. In our last video, we mentioned that Activision Blizzard King employees gained a partnership with Code CWA to file an unfair labour practices suit with the National Labour Relations Board. On the 15th, the raid party gained a tank. Stepping up to bat to support the cause, Liz Schuler, the president of the American Federation of Labor and Congress of Industrial Organizations, the largest federation of unions in the United States, mind you, tweeted out her support. Her tweet read, "Coercively intimidating employees from organizing a workplace free of abuse is illegal union busting, plain and simple. Code CWA and a better ABK, we see and stand with you. It's time to hold Activision Blizzard accountable." Schuler uses her Twitter to provide updates and retweet causes that her organisation is supporting. At the time of recording, nothing else relating to Activision Blizzard or a better ABK was mentioned in her feed. However, a few days after the AFL-CIO joined the fight, another major investigation was dropped, this time by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EOC. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, federal securities regulators have launched a wide-ranging investigation into Activision Blizzard, including how the video game publishing giant handled employees' allegations of sexual misconduct and workplace discrimination. Several Activision Blizzard senior executives, including CEO Bobby Kotick, have been subpoenaed as part of this new investigation, seeking a slew of interesting and probably telling information. Among the documents requested are minutes from Activision board meetings since 2019, personnel files of 6 former employees not named, and separation agreements that the company has reached this year with staffers. At this time, the SEC and EOC are investigating 2 different sides of the company. The SEC is focusing on whether or not Blizzard should have alerted their shareholders about the California lawsuit. If you remember, the shareholders were not happy about being blindsided by the news so much that they filed their own lawsuit. While the SEC handles that, the EOC is coming to the aid of employees, looking into the claims of harassment with the aim of a payout for victims potentially in the millions, as quoted from Eurogamer. Activision Blizzard responded with a press release, saying that they are currently cooperating with both the EOC and SEC. To read the full statement, the link to the Eurogamer article is in the description. Of note though, Bobby Kotick stated, "We are deeply committed to making Activision Blizzard one of the best, most inclusive places to work anywhere. There is absolutely no place anywhere in our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind. While we continue to work in good faith with regulators to address and resolve past workplace issues, we also continue to move ahead with our own initiatives to ensure that we are the very best place to work. We remain committed to addressing all workplace issues in a forthright and prompt manner." On the other side of the battle, several more Activision Blizzard employees hearthed out, no longer wanting to associate with the company. The 2 big names were the Chief Legal Officer at Blizzard Entertainment, Claire Hart, and Executive Producer on Overwatch, Chaco Sonny. Hart announced on her LinkedIn profile that she had left the company on the 17th after spending 3 years in the role. Sonny also announced his departure on that same Friday, and both report the need to take time off before settling into new roles outside the company. Despite the departure of Chaco Sonny, who was overseeing the development of Overwatch 2, Blizzard reports that the game is still making excellent progress and is in the final stages of production. Eurogamer stated that more information on this would be announced at the Overwatch League Grand Finals that ended on the 25th. Stay tuned to next week's broadcast for any important Overwatch 2 news that came out of that tournament. Following the status updates of Overwatch 2, let's cover another Activision Blizzard sequel, Diablo II Resurrected. The game launched on the 23rd to horrendous server issues, which kept many people from even playing. Those who managed to get in reported issues with the player creation system, such as already created characters not even showing up at all. A day later, Diablo II community manager Hooli took to the Blizzard forums in a blue post to explain many of the recent encountered bugs. The post on screen, which goes into depth on all current reported issues and how to resolve them, if applicable, can also be found linked in our description below. Thinking about getting Diablo 2 but are conflicted over the massive lawsuits? You're not alone. Diablo 2 principal designer Rob Gallerani spoke with Axios, saying that fans should do what they feel is right when considering whether or not to purchase the game at all. Gallerani is a member of the company Vicarious Visions, an Activision subsidiary that was merged into Blizzard Entertainment after the dismantling of Blizzard's classic games division. He spoke on the lawsuits, saying that It was definitely very troubling to hear these types of things, and we really wanted to support our colleagues and our co-workers. The allegations also caused the team to reflect on what they could do to improve. We heard a lot of really positive things, but I don't think that we ever get a pass on that, he said. We always need to keep asking. Continuing on with our Blizzard coverage from last week, there have been more minor changes reported within World of Warcraft's 9.15 patch, which fans speculate is directly related to the lawsuits and investigations. Wowhead posted on the 21st that several old names had gotten the chopping block, including the Twin Consorts encounter from the Mists of Pandaria expansion's Throne of Thunder raid and the beloved Big Love rocket mount. The Twin Consorts, the raid's 11th boss, have been renamed to the Twin Empyreans. The mount, getting both an icon change and a name change, is now known as the X45 Heartbreaker. Fans were very quick to show their displeasure, memeing on Twitter over the fact the word consort has been used to depict both male and female characters in the series. Shown on screen now is a screenshot posted by Twitter user Valorin of such a case that at this time has not been changed. Also at this time, the Pleasure Chamber in the Black Temple raid still remains, and Aya states the paintings mentioned last week still remain unchanged in WoW Classic, at least within the cathedral area of Scarlet Monastery. Other name changes within the game and its source files include the word blacklisted within the game's API documentation code has now become blocklisted, and the changing of at least 2 achievements. The achievement changes replace the word sack with storage in the My Sack is Gigantique achievement, and what was previously named Bros Before Ho Ho Ho's has been completely changed to Holiday Bromance. Icy Veins was quick to point out that these changes are a part of Blizzard's effort to remove inappropriate references from the game, announced on July 27th via a blue post. Like always, Aya likes to wrap up these Blizzard news sections with a reminder that still, after all of this, Activision Blizzard has not addressed employee demands. There are several petitions being passed around, with the most recent one addressing staff retaliation in the description down below. In last week's video, we talked about the stalemate in the Epic vs Apple court battle, where neither side got what they wanted and yet Epic would still fight on. Well, that fight hit a large brick wall of Apple just saying no to Fortnite returning to the iOS store pages. In another series of tweets by Tim Sweeney, linked in the description, he spoke of Apple's lies and the emails sent to him by Apple effectively blocking the game from the platform because of the breach of contract, breach of trust, and hid code from Apple from within the game, aka the external storefront. They are unwilling to take any further requests until all court appeals are settled, which Tim states could be at least 5 years from now, so it seems still a no-score draw between the two companies. This month continues to have major milestones to games and IPs, the first being that of Shin Megami Tensei's spin-off and more popular series Persona, which this month saw it enter its 25th year. Sega and Altus have set up a website celebrating the series for the whole year, starting this month small with wallpapers featuring all the protagonists from each of the 5 games. The link to the site is in the description. They weren't the only ones celebrating, as From Software sent out a tweet this past Wednesday just mentioning that the Dark Souls series had entered its 10th year with the image as seen here. Also entering its 10th year is the Warhammer 40k Space Marine, which Relic has generously upgraded its Steam version to Anniversary Edition, including all its DLC, its soundtrack, PDFs, and more. After all that, and now we're on to this week's releases. Starting with, on the 28th of September, we have In Sound Mind, the first-person psychological horror with frenetic puzzles, unique boss fights, and an original soundtrack, available on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. We have Unmetal, a 2D stealth action adventure full of humour and satire, inspired by Metal Gear Solid and many other similar games, available on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. We also have New World, the new open-world MMO from Amazon. Fight, forage, and forge your character in a classless real-time combat system and overcome the brutal legions of the corrupted in PvE and PvP battles, available on PC. On the 29th of September, we have Guardians of Hylor. Is an action-adventure packed RTS auto-battler where you hire units, improve your troops, and spawn fighters to fight for you, available on PC. On the 30th of September, we have Hot Wheels Unleashed. Collect and drive your favourite cars from the Hot Wheels collection, design spectacular tracks, and race, available on all platforms. We also have Rogue Lords. Play as the Devil and lead various famous evil geniuses through turn-based fights to spread terror and corruption, available on PC. We also have Melty Blood Type Lumina. It's a 2D fighting game based on the story from Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon, featuring over 10 characters and upgraded visuals. Available on PC, PS4, Xbox One and Switch. We also have Jurassic World Aftermath 2, continuing from the previous game released last December, escape from various dinosaurs and try and survive without getting eaten. Available on Oculus VR. We also have The Eternal Cylinder. Evolve your creature and adapt or perish in this survival game where the world is ever changing. Available on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. We also have Toy Soldiers HD. Command antique World War I toy soldiers in this strategy game based on the trench-filled battlefields of Europe. Available on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch. On the 1st of October we have FIFA 22. Need we say much more? The latest iteration of the regular football game is out on PC, PlayStation and Xbox. And that's it for this week's A Few Bits of News. Tune in next Monday for more news from across the gaming industry, and as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as well as hit that bell to get notified of the next video. If you'd like to chat with us live, then come join me every Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday evening over on Twitch, link in the description. Otherwise, we'll see you below in the comments.